So good afternoon and welcome from a very sunny, blistering Dorset day. I'm personally loving it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I refuse to complain.
So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Billforce Virtual Career Chats with Angela Forbes. It is a pleasure to welcome you, as Caroline has said today, so thank you for dialing in. I hope you are comfortable, cool and suitably hydrated for our session today on the hottest day of the year, and it's even sunny in Scotland. So it's tap staff up here, as they say. So today we welcome NHBC, so the pioneer and leader in controlling the quality of new homes. And I think with more homes being built now than ever before, their service is very much in demand. And this is a great career opportunity for many of you. So we extend a very warm welcome to the NHBC team today. So our speakers are Ryan Forshaw, the Academy Manager, veteran Shane Vineyard, Senior Training Manager, and Charlie Norman, the Talent Acquisition Manager. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Ryan. We'll take questions at the end, but feel free to write on any comments as we go, and we'll switch our cameras off, Ryan.
Okay, thanks very much, Angela, and thank you, Caroline. Very, very pleased to be here. I'm just going to share with you a presentation that we're going to run through today. So just bear with me a moment whilst I just adjust my screens and set that up for you, so that you should all start to see that coming through now. Okay, so as Angela just introduces us, we've got Shane Vineyard, Senior Training Manager. My name's Ryan Forshaw, the Academy Manager. And we've also got Charlie Norman, our Talent and Acquisition Manager. Just to introduce myself and Charlie first and foremost, and then Shane will do a more detailed introduction just to give you a feel for his career paths from the military into construction. So as I say, my name's Ryan Forshaw. I'm the Academy Manager. I've been with NHBC for 16 years. I've worked in inspection roles within NHBC. I've also done time in our claims department, and since 2014 I've worked in training, predominantly focusing on internal training, but also having a foot in the other camp as well, in delivering training to our customers in the industry, such as our builders and designers out there in the industry. So that's me in a nutshell. I'd just like to introduce Charlie at this point. So Charlie, if you'd just like to just say a few words about your background.
Sure, thank you, Ryan, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's all okay. So my name's Charlie Norman. I'm the Talent Acquisition Manager here at NHBC. I'm still reasonably new, so I joined the organisation in January of this year. But prior to that, I've got around sort of 10 years experience in various different recruitment roles across a few different industries. I think the great thing about NHBC is we're doing a lot of work around our people, our culture, diversity and inclusion. Obviously, something particularly close to our hearts is supporting military and military leavers. So it's great to be here today and part of this event. And I think, you know, I just want to let everyone know that we have a wide range of career options at NHBC. Obviously, Shane and Ryan will talk to you in a little bit more detail about that. But if you've got any questions that are specifically around the recruitment or any of our processes, please do let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charlie. So without further ado then, I'd like to just hand over to Shane Vineyard now, who's just going to talk to us about his career paths.
Right, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to take some time really just to talk not only about sort of the NHBC forces program that we have, and I work quite closely with my colleague Charlie on the recruitment and the forces program that we've established. But I also want to take the opportunity of sort of talking about a little bit about my journey, because it has relevance really in most people's journey and what you experience after leaving the military, and that sort of touches on the different ways that people do leave the military, whether that's having their career cut short through illness, injury, or being wounded, or for those that have a full career and leave after quite a substantial time in the military, and then go on to a second career, and for many that will be their longest career in adult working life. So I just wanted to explore that a little bit and really sort of map that into what that could look like as a career in new homes and construction and potentially with the NHBC. So, Ryan, if we go on to my journey, the my journey slide. Okay, brilliant. Sorry, back one. So just my experience and experiences that I've picked up working with service leavers, veterans over the years, which is it's been quite a long time really. We'll have a look at my journey in a second, but my exposure post service was around the close protection world. I was a close protection officer and close protection trainer, hostile environments trainer for quite a long time. And I was exposed and worked with a lot of veterans, ex-service personnel over the years. And the one thing that really comes out is you know, an absolute range of experience on the journey. But one thing that really does resonate and has resonated with me over the years is actually sometimes the thought pattern and what we believe that journey is going to look like. And very much, you know, that journey that we have in our head is pretty much that first picture there on the top row is that straight road. We know exactly where we want to be and where we want to go to. But sometimes in reality, that can look a little bit confused. It's a bit like more like a sort of spaghetti junction type process where we're not absolutely sure of that linear line towards that job that we want to get to. So it's just making sure that we have that in our mind, that it might not map out exactly as we think it will do at an early stage. And also that journey, you know, it can at times, it won't be that manicured path. It won't be absolutely straightforward. It's going to have a little bit of roughness to it. So again, I just, through my experience, I would just, you know, put it out there that sometimes if you get a knock or you're not quite sure, or you get a degree of apprehension, stay on the journey, because it will benefit, you know, you're going to benefit from it, and you will ultimately get where you want to be. And also, don't be scared. Sometimes, you know, it's not going to feel like walking through a park. It's going to feel like you're in free fall at times. But the one thing I will say is that through my direct experience, working with organisations like Build Force CTP, you know, I've got, you know, what I like to believe, I've got some good colleagues that I work with now at the CTP, you know, a couple that I would consider, you know, sort of almost friends really, you know, and it's that shared desire to make sure that, you know, veterans, ex-service people are succeeding in that second career. So you've got a lot of supportive agencies out there, and also your peers and your colleagues and ex-colleagues that will help you on that journey as well, because, you know, at some point someone's gone through it and been out the other side. So again, just be aware that sometimes it can feel like you're a little bit of free fall, but it's only temporary. Okay. So just to move on, really, just so you get an idea of a non-typical journey into construction, that would be myself. So kind of opening myself up here for sort of reviewing where I came from, is, you know, for me, the military was everything. That's all I wanted to do. I want to follow in my grandfather's footsteps. Both were in the Royal Navy. So from school at 17, I joined the Royal Navy. And pretty much, you know, sort of the same on the previous slide, is that life sometimes doesn't present you with that utopia, that ideal vision of what you had in your head. And unfortunately for me, unbeknown to me, when I joined the military, I had a medical condition, an undiagnosed medical condition, which caused me to battle with my overall fitness. And unfortunately, I sustained an injury during training. So that cut my first period of service quite short, and I spent quite a number of weeks and months in rehab and getting fit again. And it kind of, that put me in quite a dark place for a while. I thought, you know, life has come to an end. I only have had thought about the Royal Navy as a career. So it was difficult for me to get that right in my head. And I kind of fell into the police force, Suffolk Police, right on my doorstep, met with some recruiters and Suffolk were recruiting at the time. And I thought, well, yeah, that's for me. So applied, did really well in the interviews, etc. And then did have a really good time in the police. Until I sat down one day and thought, I've still got that bug. I've still got that Royal Navy bug in me. You know, the whole vision of being out at sea and being on warships, etc. And I'd always been a lover of helicopters and fixed wing aircraft. So you know, the job I was doing in the Royal Navy was associated with that, being an aircraft handler. So I approached the Royal Navy to go back, and to be fair, on reflection, I hid my injury to a degree, and pushed through the barrier. Did the fitness test, got back in, and did well to a period, and then unfortunately, it just the injury reoccurred. So that concluded my military service far too prematurely. And even today, I've still got that bug. You know, every time I see a helicopter about, you know, that it does bring back memories. So for me, I had a quite sustained period of reflection on thinking about what I was going to do, because I was still fairly young at the time. Had no real idea of what I was going to do at that point, because I've got to be honest, my life really had come to an end, or so I thought at that point, in terms of my chosen career. And then one day I just happened to bump into three guys that became are my best mates. A couple of ex-special forces soldiers who were starting up a close protection operations company and training company. Spoke to them about my previous career, and where I'd been. And I suppose to a degree, they probably at that point took some pity on me, or saw something in me. And I went with them on a journey. They recruited me, and I spent a glorious, fun-filled many years with the guys in delivering training and hostile environments and counter-terrorism training around close protection. Eventually becoming a director of the organisation and head of training, and at the age of 27 years old. So for me, that was a bit of a lifeboat that got me back on to, again, in that same arena around the military, but still didn't quite hit it home for me. But I felt comfortable, and I felt actually for the first time since leaving school that I was in something concrete, and I saw longevity to it. And it was at that time that I got first exposed to the world of CTP, LCAS training credits, and started to engage with a lot of people that had come out of the service and were going into close protection. And that was when I started to really question on whether that was the right career for many of these personnel coming out, because I could see their skill sets, their assets, what they had. And actually, having many friends that were in construction, I thought, you know, are you seriously thinking about going off to Iraq or you know, the Middle East and doing close protection? You'd be a fantastic project manager or a site manager or a designer or an architect or an engineer. You know, nice and safe. And the other factor is with family. A lot of the men that I was meeting at the time had beautiful families, wives, etc. And I thought, you know, there's a job down the road that, you know, as a project manager, you could be earning $100,000 a year, and you could go home every night. And, you know, it's, for me, it wasn't making a lot of sense. So that point, I was almost preempting where I was going to be today, which is, you know, promoting really good careers within the sector that I work with. So at the age of 39, I was approached by the CEO of Hopkin Homes Group, basically to join the business with not a lot of knowledge of how to build houses. But that's not what we wanted. He wanted someone that could come in and mix things up a little bit, have a little bit of that militariness about them, to build a quality program, and project manage the business through that period of time, and also headed up the training program. The business invested in me heavily with a lot of education and training and qualifications. And I absolutely had a fantastic time at Hopkin Homes. And that's the first time that I was actually able to put into practice some of that sort of intervention, that kind of working with guys in the past about looking at other careers. And that's when I was able to engage with James Moore and CTP about developing sort of ex-forces positions and training positions within organisations to make it much easier for service personnel to get into the sector within smaller developer organisations, notwithstanding that some larger organisations within our industry have really credible fantastic programs. Which really brings me to sort of almost today, really. I've been with the NHBC for coming up for 5 months now. So I'm 46 years young now, and enjoying life. Fantastic career. And really that whole sum of that journey has really prepared me for the last couple of roles that I've had. I certainly wouldn't be able to do the things that I do today, and explore some of the projects that we get involved with without all that life experience and job experience. So today I sit in a very, very nice position, enjoying life and enjoying my work. What the future brings, I don't know. Hopefully enjoying the sunshine somewhere, but certainly enjoying life at the moment.
So thank you very much, Shane. That's really encouraging stuff there. What I'm going to do now then, everyone, is I'm now going to start to focus a little bit on what NHBC do and what sort of career options we have. So I'll do a little bit of background in a moment about who we are, what our role is in the industry, how we operate. Then I'll start to look at development programs within the business at the moment, just quite broadly, and then moving on to the technical careers within NHBC, and predominantly focusing on the trainee builder inspector program at the end, giving you a little bit more detail around that. That is a very successful, well-worn program with NHBC. I actually came through the trainee building inspector program myself 16 years ago, and it's provided a really good foundation for many people within the business. So I'm going to give a bit of insight into that program. There is opportunities within that program. We're currently preparing for our 10th cohort of trainees in there, and it is something we will continue to run over the upcoming years. And then finally at the end, Shane's going to give a little summary of some of the partnerships we have within NHBC, and then we'll open things up for a Q&A session with you. So if there is any questions that you have from the session, then please feed them through the chat facility, and we'll be happy to address them at the end there. Okay, so moving on then into who NHBC are. So if anyone's unsure of the acronym, first of all, it stands for National House Building Council. Basically, we work within the industry as a non-profit distributing organisation with an aim or a purpose of raising standards in the housing industry and providing consumer protection for homeowners. And that's really where our warranty product sits within the industry. So at the core of what we do, there is an insurance, a warranty in place for new homes. And we currently have approximately 80% of the market share within the industry. So that means we're covering at the moment around about 1.5 million homes through our BuildMart products. So basically, our BuildMart products provide 10 years cover for new homes at different stages, we provide homeowners with some protection there should they have any significant issues that occur as a result of construction defects. Then we can arrange for remedial works to be carried out and their homes to be rectified as the way they should be. But we're not just an insurance company that just insures properties. we, as I said within our mission statement, we look to improve and raise construction standards within the industry, and a big part of that is our standard setting. So to sell any homes with our build mark warranty, we have around about 9,000 registered builders, and they must build in accordance with NHBC technical standards. So basically, the standards set out requirements and performance standards for areas of the build process, and detail guidance on how they can meet the requirements. So the standards really use the building regulations as a baseline, but we actually go above and beyond the building regulations, because the building regulations are mandatory, they're statutory requirements, and our standards basically take those statutory requirements and build on them based on what we see happening within the industry. So say, for instance, around about 10 years ago, we were experiencing a lot of roofing claims due to roof mortar issues. So what we did in following editions of the NHBC standards was we changed the guidance in there. We worked with the building industry to provide more comprehensive guidance to roofers so that we could help eliminate those problems. And that's how it works. Every year we will issue an updated version of the NHBC standards based on what is happening out there, what are the current practices and where the problems are. As well as setting standards for builders to follow so that we can provide warranty cover on their houses, we also carry out risk management, and that comes in a number of forms. So we have, first of all, our technical operations teams who will assess the designs that the builder submits. So we'll have teams of engineers who will assess the engineering issues, could be to do with the ground conditions or could be to do with structural elements of the build. And we also have surveying teams as well that check the design submissions in accordance with the building regulations. To support the engineers and the surveyors, we have, which is probably the largest workforce that we have within NHBC, is the building inspectors. So we have around about 400 building inspectors or inspection staff around the country. And what they do is they will actually check the on-site build. So we have the teams in Tech Ops who check the design, whereas the building inspectors will go out on site and check the actual as-built construction standards. And basically, it will be down to the building inspectors to manage those standards out on site. So if they pick up things that don't comply with the standards or building regulations, then it will be down to the inspectors to manage that and to ensure that the builders correct those works. At the end of the inspection process, there is generally 5 key stage inspections, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a few moments' time. But at the end of that process, it is down to the inspectors to issue what is the final certificate, which offers warranty on the house, and they will also issue a final certificate for building control as well if we're providing that function on a site. So we're not just about telling builders and developers when they've got things wrong and that they need to correct them. We actually do a lot of positive initiatives within the industry as well to help raise construction standards. And one of those is the image that's just popped up on the bottom of the screen there around Pride in the Job. Now, Pride in the Job is a celebration of best practice where we offer awards to site managers who are deemed the best in the country. So there's different levels of award, which go from the initial quality awards to seal of excellence to regional awards, and then there is a big award ceremony, a national award in different categories, and that's generally hosted every January, and it is seen as the Oscars of the building industry. It's taken very seriously by a lot of our building customers, and it just goes to show how important it is them having quality in mind and looking to raise quality, and that it gets recognised in an award like Pride in the Job. And then finally, just again, another summary about what we do at NHBC, we do provide additional consultancy services as well. So in addition to our standard inspection service, we do have construction quality services, which provide a more in-depth, comprehensive inspection of a building site to provide the builder with feedback on where they can improve the quality. And we also have training teams as well. So obviously, as myself and Shane are heavily involved with this, we do provide quite a lot of training to our builder customers, again, to help them raise the knowledge levels and the competence within their companies. And then hopefully that will then reflect out on site with what they do and what they deliver in terms of the products that they build. So that's a summary of NHBC. It is a lot more detailed than that, but you know, we would take a whole week really to go through absolutely everything that we do. So that is just a basic overview of some of the key areas that we do at NHBC. So I said at the start that we were going to talk about the broader development programs that we offer at NHBC, and this is pretty much a hot topic within the business at the moment. And we just wanted to make you aware that before we start talking about the technical opportunities, that we do have a number of